Good afternoon, everybody. Or should say evening. I don't know what time it is. Uh, went down to my mom's, cut a tree off of her roof, and managed to get that done without killing anybody or electrocuting somebody because it was also hanging over her main electrical line. But we got that done. I don't know if I got too hot or what, but I'm pretty puny. I think it's just a sinus infection, but I'll be all right. But we got something here. We got a new addition to the farm. Lady's got to talk to us. See, there's Lady. There's Missy. Over, I don't know if you can even see her with the glare. Opal, being Opal. But anyway, here is our newest addition. It's an Allis Chalmers WD-45. She's a little rough. Alice has been around the block a few times. And she's going to need some things. But she runs and drives. But like I said, she's going to need some TLC. It's a wide front end. Which back when I was a kid, my dad had an Allis Chalmers WD. It's a little less powerful than this one, but there's a lot of similarities between the two. It's got more power than the WD does. The WD-45 has more power. But it came with one new tire for the front. That one there's in pretty bad shape. That one's not much better over there, but anyway. I don't know what's going on here with this duct tape on the clutch lever. But like I said, she's going to need a little TLC. You lay that down. I've got to turn the fuel off. I forgot to do that a while ago. And she came with a wasp nest, which they should give me a discount for taking their wasp. But anyway, it's going to need new wheels and tires. And in case you don't know, Allis Chalmers had its own unique 3-point system, and it was upside down to what is used on newer tractors. And this one has been converted. I don't know if this is a factory setup or something that somebody has made up. I don't know, but anyway, it's a standard 3-point. My stuff for the little old Kubota will fit on it. But this tractor's an advance, believe it or not, for the farm here. This is kind of neat. Dad's WD didn't have this. The seat pivots over. And I want to tell you something about these seats. They're steel seats. They last forever. And it's got this shock under here. And this one has hydraulics added to it. But on back to these seats. You would not think so, but those seats are comfortable. And they're just comfortable seats. But like I said, the tires are mismatched on the back. One's wider than the other, and you can see this in pretty bad shape. This wheel's not too bad. It may not need to be replaced for a while. But this is supposed to have a 12 or 13 by 28. This has got a 16/9 28 tire on it. You can see it's in bad shape. I'm sure it's got tubes in them. I haven't looked, but one thing I'm a little disappointed on is right here. They had a pulley that sat here, one of those big wide flat pulleys, so you could run other things with it. I don't know what to, you could run a sawmill off of it, or they had all kinds of things you could do. I'm kind of disappointed that one doesn't have it. And another thing I'm disappointed about is this thing has a hand crank. Dad's old WD had it. That's what this is for. You put a crank on there and, you know, you can start this tractor with a crank. It does have an electric starter on it, but the crank is missing, the crank handle. I'm a little disappointed about that, but not surprised, because I'm sure that, you know, with an electric starter, which is right up in there, right there, that black thing, you don't need that crank. But it is kind of handy. I know on Dad's old WD, it had the crank still, but we're talking back in the 80s. A long time ago. But the starter went out on it, and we just cranked it forever, because money was always tight. But anyway, there's a quick look at the new Edition. There'll probably be some videos about doing maintenance on it. I'm not an expert. Some of the things I know has got to be done. Like I said, the back tires, this wheel has to be replaced. They gave us another wheel, but I just don't think that I'm even going to bother to use it, because I think it's just about as bad as this one. And here's another unique thing. Well, I don't know. I've been watching videos, and these tires are adjustable. The wheels, you can adjust them in and out, you know, to whatever you need for your crops. I doubt I'll be adjusting them. It's kind of a nuisance to adjust. But yep, that's our new addition to the not so little house on the prairie here. It's Alice Chalmers. Said, I don't know if we're going to go as far as paint or any of that right now. Right now, it's just, we bought it. It's not a bad deal. It's not a great deal, but I thought it was worth the money. And I can afford to do a little work on it. So we're going to do some work on it. It's, you know, just something I can work on. And it's easy to work on. Still got a points distributor in it. I think it's still 6-volt positive ground. And, you know, if you're a youngster, you might not know what that means, but it's a 6-volt battery instead of a 12-volt, which you find in all your cars. This is just a 6-volt battery. And instead of the negative grounding to the frame, the positive does. It works. I don't understand the I don't understand how it works, because I'm not, me and electricity are barely on speaking terms on a good day. So, but this is her. This is one of the lights. I think there's a screw right in there. I think we'll loosen it up, pull it out. I think I will try to get the lights to work. She needs a little work. I don't have any background on it. The guys I bought it from didn't offer up any. I think they bought it. I don't know if they bought it to use or if they bought it to just flip, because, you know, there's a coil, but you can see that's a 12-volt coil, not a 6-volt. And, you know, there's some other things here going on, but she fires right up. She runs pretty good. I need a new radiator cap, because I think that one's wore out. But that's about all I got to tell you right now. Right now, everything works. And I'm kind of tickled. The farmhand's kind of tickled. And that's one of the things I like about this, is that I can work on it and I can teach him a little bit about just mechanics in general. It's a gasoline engine. So, you know, and it's real simple. I mean, coil, distributor, you know, it's all right here. There's your water pump up in there. And I've been checking prices on YouTube this afternoon, not YouTube, but on the old internet. And parts for it really aren't that bad. I got to do some more research on some things, but, you know, like I said, everything works. The lights don't work, but, you know, and we're missing some things. There's some, you know, on the throttle here, there should be a knob up here. Same way on the hydraulics. This is what lifts your 3-point. This is your throttle to go. And the gear shifter needs a knob on it. But it's real simple. Which, you know, that works great for me because I'm real simple. I do not know the year. I'm getting ready to look that up. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I can't see it right now. But supposedly, and this doesn't, I don't see it. But there's supposed to be a number. Oh yeah, I kind of see there's a little bit of a number there. I'm going to have to see if I can get that. It looks like it's filled in with paint. Oh, can you see it right there? Just faintly some numbers. Well, I have to get that cleaned up where I can find out what year it was built in. And they've got this add-on hydraulics. You know, here's the connection. So if I get an implement that needs hydraulics, I can just plug them in and go, which I don't see that happening because, like I said, this is going to be used mostly to start with, pulling a brush hog, brush cutter, whatever you want to call it, and delivering hay to the cows. Because the little old Kubota, I can pull a bale on it, but it makes it a little light on the front end, and it just seems to work it pretty good. But we still got the little Kubota there for doing stuff that it can do. So now we got Alice here, and I've already decided that's her name, Alice. And she's gonna do a lot of work for us, I think. So, you know, I guess I'm gonna wind this up. There ain't much to say. Look forward to some videos where we're working on Alice. Possibly got to change a head gasket, but all the parts are there. The hardest part about that job is going to be right here. These bolts on this is the intake manifold, this is the exhaust manifold, and those bolts have a tendency to seize, and as you can see, they're just nuts, and you break those studs off. It's an updraft carburetor. Unlike the carburetor on your car that sits on top of the engine and it flows down through, this one pulls air through the oil bath air filter. There's a little bit of oil in the bottom of this. I don't know exactly how it works. Maybe later I'll know. And it pulls it down through here and into the carburetor. And they work pretty good. They're pretty simple. I've never worked on one, but you know, I think I can do it. But like I said, this is the only thing that worries me is these bolts here, because they break real easy. Those studs, that's what they are. They're studs that screw into the head, and then so to get that off, I'll probably have to I'll probably send it to a machine shop and let them check it out, the head, make sure there's no cracks or anything in it. And we'll go from there. But first, I got some things I'm going to do and try. You know, I think it is just a bad head gasket, because I checked the oil when I bought it. Uh-oh. Yeah, we may have a bigger problem, because, yep, we got oil down in there. I was kind of worried about that, because when I checked the oil on this yesterday, and that's, excuse my shaky hand. When I checked the oil on this yesterday, it was brand new, and that always makes me nervous. And there's a reason for that, because I've seen it on cars, and somebody will have a bad head gasket or a cracked head, and they will change the oil, put fresh oil in it, change the oil filter, so you can't tell that. I should have checked it again after I ran it yesterday. But anyway, buyer beware. That's on me. It's probably just that head gasket. Like I said, I think the head gasket's bad anyway, because I could see it leaking to the outside. I was hoping that it was only leaking to the outside. But anyway, still, I don't have enough into it where I think I'm hurt. I'm not flipping this tractor. I'm going to use it. So I still don't feel like I got hurt. I wish they'd have told me about that. Of course, if they had told me, I would have haggled a little harder, forgot it less, or walked away. But anyway, on me, you discovered that as I did. I don't know if you noticed, but that was a different color on that than what it should have been. So, you know, I knew better, but just, you got to pay attention to people. You got to pay attention when you're buying stuff, especially old used stuff. And like I said, I imagine they bought this, thought maybe they could fix her up a little bit and flip her, and then they saw that and decided they didn't want to take that much time or energy. So, you know. But there we are. You see our new addition, and you are probably going to get a video on changing the head gasket on an Allis-Chalmers WD-40. So, going to wind this up. Like I said, we got work. We got a little more work than I thought now, for sure. But we'll get her done, and maybe bring y'all along with us. Let me see. I think since the last video, I've sold 10 pigs, 10 weaning pigs. And so that's a good thing. And everybody here has been fighting a sinus infection. That's what I got going on today. Ethan's pretty much over his. I thought I was over it until today. And maybe it was just due to the heat being out in it, but I don't know. Don't matter. I'll get over it. So hope y'all are doing good, and hope you learned something today. Not just about the Allis-Chalmers WD-45, but about buying used vehicles and tractors and anything that is water cooled. You want to watch for that. And like I said, I knew better. I should have checked that after they ran that for a little bit. It would have shown up. I probably would have walked away. But anyway, it's not too big a deal. And my plan isn't to flip that tractor. So I'm not gonna worry about it. I can afford to fix it, and we'll use it and get our money's worth out of it anyway. So, all right, I'm gonna get off of here. Let's everybody look out for each other, help each other when we can. Don't forget to pray.